Let's be real, most people think changing their car's oil is simple. You drain it, swap the filter, pour new oil in, and you're good to go. But here's the truth most drivers don't realize. Even a small mistake during an oil change can quietly destroy your engine. We're talking spun bearings, seized pistons, and costly damage that sneaks up months later. And what's worse, many of these mistakes are made by people who think they're doing everything right. So, in this video, we're breaking down the 7 oil change mistakes that ruin engines faster than you'd believe, and how you can avoid them for good. 1. Using the wrong oil type. This one tops the list because it's the most common and the most dangerous. Every engine is designed to run with a specific oil viscosity. That means a certain thickness of oil like 0W20, 5W30, or 10W40. If you use oil that's too thin, like 0W20 in an older engine designed for 5W30, you're not giving it enough protection when things get hot. That thinner oil can slip through worn seals and bearings, lowering pressure and causing metal-to-metal contact. On the flip side, if you use oil that's too thick, say 10W40 in an engine that needs 0W20, the oil won't circulate fast enough during cold starts. Those first few seconds after you turn the key, that's when most engine wear happens. The right oil is like blood pressure for your car. Too high or too low, and things start breaking down fast. Always check your owner's manual. And if you drive in extreme heat or cold, adjust one step accordingly. 2. Overfilling or underfilling the oil. This mistake ruins more engines than people think. Too little oil, and your engine starves for lubrication. The crankshaft starts spinning through air instead of oil, which causes friction, heat, and eventually a seized engine. But here's what most don't realize. Too much oil is just as bad. When you overfill, the crankshaft whips the oil into foam. That foam can't lubricate properly, and it traps air bubbles throughout the system. Suddenly, your oil pump's sending frothy air instead of a smooth film to your bearings and pistons. You might not notice it right away, but over time, it leads to internal damage, especially in high-revving engines. The golden rule: after filling, always check the dipstick. It should sit right between the min and max marks, never below and never above. 3. Ignoring the oil filter or using the wrong one. This one's sneaky because a cheap filter looks just like a good one. Your oil filter does more than just catch dirt. It's what keeps microscopic metal particles from grinding through your engine. But if you buy a no-name filter, or worse, skip changing it altogether, it clogs fast. A clogged filter triggers the bypass valve, which lets unfiltered oil circulate straight into your engine. That means dirt, metal flakes, and sludge get free access to the most sensitive parts of your motor. And if you use the wrong size filter, you could be in even bigger trouble. It might not seal properly, causing leaks or oil starvation. Always stick with filters from trusted brands: Bosch, Wix, Frem, Ultra, or your manufacturer's OEM filter, and change it every single time you change your oil. Skipping it even once is like showering and putting on the same dirty clothes. 4. Forgetting to replace the drain plug washer. You'd be shocked how many people, even mechanics, skip this tiny part. That small metal or rubber washer on your oil drain plug is what seals the connection between your oil pan and the plug itself. When it gets old or flattened, it can't seal properly. That's when tiny leaks start forming, slow enough that you don't notice, but fast enough to drop your oil level over time. Many drivers have lost entire engines just because they didn't replace a 20-cent washer. The oil slowly leaks out, and before they realize it, the level's dangerously low. Always use a new washer during each oil change. It's cheap insurance against one of the most expensive failures you can imagine. 5. Tightening the drain plug too much or too little. This mistake separates professionals from beginners. Tightening the drain plug sounds simple, but it's one of those do it wrong once, and you'll never forget it jobs. If you under-tighten it, oil can slowly leak out while you're driving. But if you over-tighten it, you can strip the threads in your oil pan, and that's a nightmare. A stripped oil pan means you can't seal the plug properly anymore. The only fix, rethreading the hole or replacing the entire oil pan, which can cost hundreds of dollars. The correct approach is to tighten it snugly by hand, then give it a quarter turn with a wrench. Or even better, use a torque wrench and follow the spec in your owner's manual. Most cars fall between 25 to 35 foot-pounds of torque. Tight, but not gorilla tight. 6. Waiting too long between oil changes. Here's the big one, neglect. And modern cars have come a long way, but that doesn't mean your oil lasts forever. Over time, it breaks down from heat, moisture, and contaminants. When oil breaks down, it loses its ability to lubricate. It turns into a thick, dirty sludge that clogs passages and suffocates your engine from the inside out. And that fancy oil life monitor on your dashboard. It's an estimate, not a magic number. It doesn't analyze the actual quality of your oil. It just calculates based on mileage and driving conditions. If you drive short distances, sit in traffic a lot, or live in hot weather, your oil wears out faster than your car thinks. A good rule of thumb. For synthetic oil, change every 5,000 to 7,000 miles. For conventional oil, every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. And if you tow, idle often, or drive hard, shorten those intervals. Oil is cheaper than engines. 7. Not checking oil between changes. This might be the simplest mistake of all, but it's one of the deadliest. Engines burn small amounts of oil naturally, especially as they age. But if you never check your oil between changes, you'll never know if your car is running low. Even a modern car can lose a quart every 1,000 miles without visible leaks. And when the oil gets too low, it doesn't matter how good it was. There's just not enough to do its job. Low oil means higher heat, less lubrication, and eventual metal damage. Make it a habit. Check your oil every couple of weeks, or before long trips. It takes 2 minutes, and it can save you thousands of dollars. Pop the hood, wipe the dipstick clean, reinsert it, and check the level. If it's below the halfway point, top it off immediately. Your engine doesn't care that you meant to change it later. It only cares about the oil that's actually in there right now. Bonus. Mistake, not letting the engine cool before draining. Let's add one more, because this one burns more than just your engine. If you change your oil right after driving, that oil is scalding hot. Not only can you burn yourself, but hot oil also drains too quickly, leaving behind a thin film that clings to the inside of your engine. On the other hand, if you wait too long and let the car get completely cold, the oil becomes thick and sluggish, taking forever to drain out. The sweet spot? Wait about 20 to 30 minutes after driving. The oil will be warm enough to flow easily, but cool enough to handle safely. You'll get more old oil out in ATM and less sludge left behind. How? These mistakes kill engines over time. The scary thing about oil change mistakes is that they don't usually destroy your engine overnight. They work silently, drop by drop, mile by mile. A little leak here, a little sludge there. Over time, that friction and heat start eating away at the parts that make your engine run smoothly. Bearings, valves, pistons. By the time you hear the ticking, the knocking, or the low pressure light flickering, it's often too late. That's why attention to detail during oil changes matters. It's not just about saving money on labor. It's about keeping the most expensive part of your car alive for as long as possible. The right way to change oil and keep your engine happy. If you want to do it right, here's the simple, professional way to handle oil changes at home. Let your car warm up, then cool down a bit. Drain the old oil completely. Replace the filter and washer. Tighten the plug correctly. Fill with the proper amount and type of oil. Check the dipstick after the first start, and again after 5 minutes of idling. And always dispose of your old oil responsibly. Most auto shops will take it for free. Once you've done it right a few times, it becomes second nature. And your car will reward you with smoother performance, better fuel economy, and years of extra life. So, there you have it. 7 oil change mistakes that destroy engines faster than most people realize. Every one of them is easy to avoid, but only if you know what to look for. Using the wrong oil, skipping the filter, overfilling, or just ignoring small details can cost you thousands in repairs, all for something that takes less than an hour to do correctly. Remember, your car doesn't care how new it looks on the outside. What matters is how well it's cared for on the inside. If you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment telling me which mistake you've seen people make the most. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Until then, keep your oil clean, your drain plug tight, and your engine running smooth. Because sometimes it's the small mistakes that cause the biggest damage.